What is going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning in and checking out this hobby stream. So today I have a Greater Possessed, formerly a Greater Possessed, now just a regular Possessed. To bring in line with the other Possessed models I've been doing on these streams as of late. This guy, as you can see here, is a bit further along than the others. So maybe it'll make things a bit quicker. There's a bit of even layering on one of his thumb claw there. So I think won't be too much layering on the armor to do. The skin looks fairly well blended. The demonic flesh, rather. There's a bit of cleanup to do on some of the trim, which has been muddied, but yeah, I think it'll be a quicker than usual workflow on this guy. Or so I think. If there's time, I may start working on the Master of Possession as well. If not, he's just here to spectate the realizing of this guy here. Okay, so I have my overly saturated blend from last stream still on my palette, and it's a bit too runny. So yeah, I might have tipped over the wet palette a little bit, or just spilled some water in there and ruined the mixture. So I'm gonna get some more going on my palette here. This is Mechrite Red. And nope, that's also... I need a little bit of Screamer Pink. I thought what was on my palette was still alive, but it's not. I'll get a little bit of Game Color Black, and that pink horse should be fine for brighter colors, but we'll dip into that as we need. Okay, let's try layering in just a little bit here. This guy's certainly more of the conventional Chaos Space Marine aesthetic compared to the previous Galvorback. Also noticing a few areas where I'll have to put down the base color for some talons, some bony elements. I get a little bit more brighter values in these areas, I think. I think it's probably gonna lead to a better outcome aesthetically. I'm gonna need some new Game Color Black on my palette as well. I suppose the neat part about the Possessed with so much trim here is that it means there's less armor edge highlighting. I think I can get away without highlighting the trim. Just rely on the various areas of interest to keep things from being too bland. I find the Loyalist Marines are much simpler and require, not require, but the edge highlighting their armor does a lot of heavy lifting, I think. Ooh, we'll have to clean that up. Definitely just painted straight over some trim. Oh, and the gold there. Yikes. Okay, this whole arm is, including the shoulder pad, is basically all demonic flesh colors. This shoulder pad's looking okay. I think a wash will carry it. Well, let's do some face blending. I have some Saborite green here, the remnants of what I used on the face of the previous Possessed on my palette. Though it's looking a little sparse, but maybe that's okay. What I want to do is just build up this color a little bit and then start blending it into the Screamer pink, or I guess the armor color. The armor color, like blend that so it's a bit more smooth. Smooth here. I might need more Saborite green. More Saborite or Sybarite? Sybarite. Who's to say? Don't know if I'm coming down with something or if it's just some summer month allergies coming at me. Let's start blackening some of these tubes. Tubes or hoses? I really don't know what they are. But they should be a different color. I know that much. I think these tubes will go a long way towards breaking up the different components here, increasing the readability of them, and just making things look a bit more aesthetically interesting. Sorry about that. I had to blow my nose. Thought I'd spare you all from the auditory experience of that. Probably could start going in with some silver, but that may be getting ahead of myself. There is an interesting blend here that I had done previously, going from a metallic power pack end cap that you usually see done in metal to the armor color. That's going to be kind of hard to layer back into because I don't have that particular metallic color anymore. The Duralinium is just way brighter. I could try maybe mixing in some black. I don't know. Maybe we'll try and see. Funny thing about this guy, he's got these like two balls swinging in between his legs. Like why would they do that? Why would they design it this way? It's weird. Other than that, the sculpt is very cool. He's definitely the cooler, hashtag cool. Cooler between the two of the greater possesseds. The other guy's got that kind of crab claw energy. Which is, I don't know, less. I think it's less intimidating of a claw design, right? Crab claw versus this grotesque kind of mutation. I suppose the crab claw is just too easy to associate with, well, with crabs, and it becomes less intimidating, less horrifying in that possessed way. I think the backpack will actually, I think it'll be all right. Let's put the, I was gonna say let's put the wash on now, but probably should edge highlight the minimal areas that require it. Not so much on this guy, because again he has trim. He's got that Chaos Space Marine trim. Okay, so I'll mix some off-white with some pink horror, and then mix that with my my skin blend, just to increase the brightness and maintain that same hue. So we get kind of like a paler version of our bright tone for edge highlighting, which I think is preferred, honestly. I don't think you want to introduce more saturation with your edge highlights unless you're going for a very particular kind of effect. Where else do we have edges on these weird, I don't know what to call these ankle covers? Like hoof protectors. I'll probably edge highlight those areas just bone color. I think the only other exposed areas for the armor, which require edge highlighting, are gonna be it's the backpack. I think it's just the backpack. All the other edges are trimmed out. What's up, Donzilla? Just saw your message there. Thanks for stopping by, for checking out the stream. I'm just out here, grinding out these possessed. But what are you up to, Donzilla? Got anything interesting on the hobby table this evening? I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup on that backpack. There's a little sloppy work there. Okay, let's get that wash going. The custom wash for the Word Bearer's armor. I quite like using matte medium as part of the wash blend because then you get a nice muted finish, not overly satin, which the GW paints tend to be. Yawning Hamster, what's up? Ah, I see you are grinding out some Destiny. Nice. Destiny 2. Didn't jump on the Destiny train, or Destiny 2 train. I don't know, I put a lot, you know, I can't recall how much, but, you know, I put a bit of time into Destiny 2, and I was kind of bummed out that, or sorry, into Destiny 1, and I was bummed out that I couldn't carry any of that over to the sequel. And that was one of the motivating factors as to why I didn't jump in. We got a little black tube to hit here. I think that'll serve him better. You got back into it after not playing for 2 years for the final Shape DLC. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's probably a good time to jump in, right? When all the content is fleshed out. And you have a real adventure before you. That's pretty cool. Definitely hitting the trim with this wash, which, if it's in the recesses, isn't too bad, but I'm not overly concerned with the trim casualties of the wash because I do want to hit it with a bit of Duralinium. Oh, this is the same shoulder pad as our snake, as the snake possessed. That's funny. Ugh, excuse me. I have to go blow my nose soon. I can feel it. God damn. Okay, I'll be right back. Alright, I am back. What messages did I miss? Halo 2 is still gonna be my favorite campaign Bungie's done. So I hear. I have only heard good things of Halo 2's campaign. big part of why it's a beloved IP. Oh yes, gotta hit this gauntlet. That is a crucial detail right in front. Okay, I think that's all of the armor areas hit with a wash. You can darken this a bit more. Alright, I want to get in here with some metal colors now. Really make that trim pop. Not going for an edge highlighting, but feathering along the edges. Trying to accentuate not just the shine, but also just the contrast between the armor material and the trim, because they would have different kind of specular. They would be different from a specular light bouncing point of view. Just wondering if the other handle might be better for this. There, that's secure. And a bottle cap. Okay, so this is considerably brighter. I don't want to lose the dark tones completely. The areas like this, where the wash probably darkened that area that should be high contrast between those two, you know, right at the corner of the trim, you'd think would be pretty stark. Yeah, definitely gonna have to do a Steel Legion pass on all the bone features of this guy. The only negative of using the airbrush metallic paints is that they are a little harder to wield precisely, especially if you have too much on your brush. Hey, Castellan, thanks for becoming a member. Welcome to Adept. Got yourself a cool bronze badge there. Nice. Much appreciated. Okay. So, what areas do I want to emphasize a bit brighter? Probably leave this side dark, but this greave will make it brighter. I think that'll look best. You don't want to make everything just max brightness, right? Probably want areas of high and low light to kind of play off each other. That sounds like it makes sense. I can't remember how many members it requires, but at a certain point, I think it might be like 8 or 6. At a certain point, it'll start being displayed on the channel homepage, which is pretty cool. I would have liked to have displayed it already, but it doesn't let you do it on YouTube Studio unless you have that amount. Wait, is that? I couldn't see under. That's not even trim. That's just knee pad. Okay, so we'll have to clean that up a bit. We gotta paint his balls. Like it's not up to me. They need to be painted. This guy's got balls of steel. He never fails his battle shock tests. Well, I'm glad to hear you liked the last live stream, Castellan. Just, after I got this hobby space set up for streaming, I mean, I do quite a bit of hobbying, and I figured I might as well just, if I'm gonna hobby, might as well stream and, if even 5, viewers of the channel are able to enjoy in the camaraderie, I think it's worth it. Pyro, just saw your message. I must say, turns out I like some more Galvor back models. It's just that the paint job done on them from the Forge World sucked. Thanks for the eye-opener. Oh, well, I'm happy to... Oh, thanks for the indirect compliment to my paint jobs, and happy that they were able to make the models, or... not make them shine, but do right by them. Because they are nice sculpts. Some of the better sculpts from the Horus Heresy, I think. Those Galvorback and Mara Gal Dreadnoughts. Certainly better than the most of the Space Wolves models in 30K. But that might be like punching below the belt a little bit. I feel like they're on the bottom of the ladder there. Okay, so clean up that error here. I'll get back to our Duralinium now. I think the Duralinium's looking real good over top of this darker metal. I think it's working. It's working. You guys been watching the Acolyte, the Star Wars Acolyte? I've not been liking what I'm hearing. Seems mondo lame. Whoa, hold on. Chat's going crazy. Castellan gifted 5 memberships. Welcome new members. How cool. Look, the chat's all green. That's awesome. Green is the best color. Jeez, Castellan gifted another 5 memberships. Awesome, Castellan. That's so generous of you. Very cool. Now you guys are the inner circle. How about that? You know what, Donzilla? That's probably the right attitude to have. It's hard to judge it, you know, where it's going if it's not all available to be watched, right? Because, you know, a story could have twists and turns along the way that feel bad at the moment, but then maybe it pays it all off, right? Any other silver areas? I guess that one shoulder pad. Gotta make the icon gleam, obviously, right? Though I could put some Druchii Violet in the connection points here just to give a subtle gradation to the icon. I think that might look really good, actually. I don't know if I have my Druchii Violet here, though. Alright, let's just feather in some trim. Feather in some Duralinium. Duralinium? Is that what it's called? Aluminum. Yeah, I'm just making up words. Alright, his trim's much more breathable now, that's for sure. It pops. It pops. Okay, so should the first step of the bone colors be Seraphim Sepia? Then I can layer in some of the Army Painter Skeleton Bone. That might yield a cool look. Kind of grateful this guy doesn't have any parchment. There's so much pressure to do the squiggles on your parchment. Oh, Castellan. That warms my heart to hear. It warms my heart to hear that you enjoy the channel that much. It's awesome, dude. Very much appreciated. And I think chat appreciates it too, right? The channel membership thing is a pretty, I think, fun-boosting feature overall. I guess I should get some emojis as part of the channel. I think I only have that smiling kill team guy. I'm open to suggestions from members, you know, now that you guys are all members. I don't know, should the emojis all be in the theme of like awkward faces from GW? Those are fun. Oh no. What I thought was good paint on my palette is actually corrupted. There's too much water in here, and when I picked it up, it must have flooded. Well, so much for my layering skeleton bone over the wash while it's drying plan. I feel like with the wash pooling at the bottom there, we're able to pull some of that up as it dries. Kind of use it as a wet blending base. Kind of cool. Get some nice blends out of that. Jeez. These allergies are on full force today. Try to be more mindful with the mute button. Just catching up on chat real quick. Chat about Valorex Discord. Pyro, yes, I do watch anime generally, in the general sense. I'm not like a aficionado. It like I don't know. It might be like mainstream anime by anime enjoyer standards, but yeah, anime is cool. It's got a cool aesthetic and satisfying action, cool characters, some enjoyable plots and such. Yes, I have seen Gurren Lagann. It was on Netflix at some point, and that's where I watched it. I quite enjoyed Gurren Lagann and its bursting through ceilings motif. I thought it was very cool, very satisfying. A good hero in Kamina. I think that was his name. It's a very inspirational character for the main character of the series. I can't remember that character's name anymore. It's been so long since I watched it. I quite like when main characters in anime or in anything, any heroic story, right? When the main character is able to inspire like others in his party, or even side characters. I feel like that's an important component for the heroic archetype of those types of characters. I think you want to have those moments where your hero's ideals kind of spread to others, like they're actively making the world better. Hmm. Oh, I started Delicious in Dungeon, same studio, right? I got fairly far along, but I'm a few episodes behind now because I think they come out every Thursday or Friday, but I've missed the last few weeks, so I'll probably binge it at some point. But yeah, I enjoy that studio's work. Yeah, they did Cyberpunk also, right? Edge Runners on Netflix. That's yeah, they're doing a good job, all things considered. That's definitely a show that makes you sad. I don't know. It's you watch it, you're like, oh, I didn't enter this expecting to feel bad, and then now I feel bad watching it. But as they say, better having watched it than not watched it. Despite the bad feels. It's about the journey, right? Let's get some tones on the skull feature. I feel that's an important one to accentuate because it's a skull. Skulls have that natural allure to them, right? Yeah, I didn't play the Cyberpunk game, the new one, 2099, but it's definitely one of those games where eventually I'm sure there'll be a dirty Steam sale, and I'll probably pick it up then. He's hoofed. He's hoofing it. No, I just yeah, didn't know what to expect with Edge Runners. Like, what was the? I'm sure like lots of references to the original IP were over my head, but still enjoyable. I would still recommend it for those who want to get attached to characters and then feel bad. If that's your jam, Edge Runners might be for you. Sounds rude. It's not, I don't intend for it to be. I did enjoy it. I did enjoy Edge Runners. Even Delicious in Dungeon, like not getting into spoilers, but it did have some parts where I was like, oh, is this gonna be a feel bad situation? And it might get worse. I don't know. 'Cause I haven't. I'm not up to date. But I was like, I feel sick. I feel sick watching what's happening to these characters. You know. Oh, it's like when you watch like District 9 for the first time, right? Just like, oh my god, what's happening to this guy? This Fukin prawns. Fukin prunes. It's probably his most memorable quote, sadly. Question on Zardu Layak. Is the dude possessed or just has a cool helmet? I don't actually know. I can tell you. I used his model. He hangs around with demons, I can tell you that. But I used his model for my Dark Apostle, but I am not familiar with his 30k lore. He hangs out with those blade slaves, right? And I'm pretty sure in the Siege of Terra he was hanging out with demons and not Nurglings, Plague Bearers. I think there was a bit of that. He appears to have some mutations, or you know, like I think he has multiple eyes, at least as suggested by his face mask, which could just be a spooky mask. I wish I could provide you with insight there. Well, this Thursday's the end of Delicious in Dungeon, eh? Yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely be checking it out. What else do we got here? Any other fangs I've missed? Yep, right here. And you know what? This gauntlet's trim that was mucked up. I gotta touch that up also. Is my bottle cap expired? Oh, it's dead. No. What a sad day it is. I've returned. Yeah, I muted myself to blow my nose because these allergies are killing me, and I just like destroyed the tissue, and it was a huge mess. But everything is back to normal. I've returned. What's up, Simon Kelly? No problem being late. Glad you could stop by anyways. We're out here hustling. Crushing that hobby life, you know. Living the dream. Painting trim. Oh, there's a tube here. There's a tube. I should have made it black. Yeah, I wish, yeah, like allergies are such an annoying, it's like such a nuisance to deal with. I mean, I wish I could control my body like Dennis in Always Sunny, and just like, sickness, be gone, and like will myself to be back, to be normal, to operate as normal, but unfortunately, it's not an option. Alright, that should be good for that gauntlet, I think. Yeah, looking pretty bright. But maybe I shouldn't be too concerned with this. If this area is gonna have any glowing green effects, then all that would be overridden, so maybe I should just leave it. Same with down here, right? Thank you for that, Kitbash. Yeah, I thought the extended tongue is a cool nod to the Fiends of Slaanesh, which this icon is from, and I think these back spikes also. Yeah, I think the original model had a tongue as well, but I don't think it was as long. And it makes this guy more like Venom, which is a cool aesthetic, certainly, for a big hulking brute. Ugh. Yo, real talk. Why is Donkey Kong's OST so good? You wouldn't think a game about some weird monkey collecting bananas or whatever would have such an awesome soundtrack. You can't hear any music? Well, that is on me. um, I don't know if it's too loud or not. I do get some demonetization notices after these streams sometimes, just for particular songs, and then YouTube does the auto mute thing on those sections. It seems, well, it tells me anyways that it auto mutes just the music that's in conflict. But honestly, I never checked to see how that actually turns out in the end. It's usually just for like a minute or two. I don't think it's a big deal. Alright, these bone areas are alright. I'm going to mix a little bit of off-white with skeleton bone and try and do a bit of just edge highlighting on some of these areas to make them look a bit sharper. See how that works. Yeah, maybe better if I did that in frame, but yeah, I think it's a good color here. It's hard to go wrong with just mixing in off-white, I think. So whatever color you're painting, and mix in some off-white, and you got a almost foolproof edge highlight recipe. Let's see if we can get away with the rib cage. The whole rib cage being highlighted with the bone color. I think so. I think that'll do. We need some more off-white. Okay. I thought, like, at this point there's more off-white inside this cap than there is in the dropper bottle. Dang, I just noticed I didn't do any bone layers on his other hoof. That one will be a bit tagged by any dry brushing on the base. I don't know if it's super crucial to get it looking as good as everything else. It's all about what you can get away with, I think. think our bone colors are good. I'm just going to put a layer of sepia along the bottom half of the bones I didn't do initially, just to further provide a bit of variance to them. Castellan, again with the 5 gifted memberships. Welcome new members. Crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Super generous. Much appreciated, man. I just realized I keep missing parts. How about the back half of the shoulder pad? Might be important. Nice. Okay, I think this guy is ready for some Saborite Green and Incubi Darkness for these his face and the demon elements, like the icon and back spikes. Just a subtle bit of blending. Nothing crazy. It'll look good though. It'll look good. Just gotta find my Incubi. Incubi, where are you? There it is. Incubi Darkness. Good color. I'm going to blend with a bit of Sons of Horus Green for variance on those horns. And then for the face, I'll be using Saborite Green. Well, it already is Saborite Green, but I'll be mixing it with probably... what do I have here? You know what? I might end up using my bone color that's on the palette. Just for those little spot areas, like making the teeth and cheeks pop a bit more. And then from there it'll just be eye colors and glowing features. The gem, I don't know, like black with contrast. I just cheat the gem. No need to apologize, Castellan. Castellan's out here making it rain and shed. You bow to no one, alright? Alright? It's all good. You know what? Scrap the Sons of Horus Green. I think I'll go with Incubi to Saborite. I think that'll just be better. So I'm not gonna need much anyways. It's such a potent color. Okay, these are already blending from our armor color, so I don't think there's much to do there, but these ones protrude a bit more, and so I think it affords some blendable space. And we'll go in with a little bit of Saborite mixed in. Yeah, look at that color. There's something about a nice blend. Not coming across the best in camera, but I'll probably post a YouTube post before and after of this guy, and I think should be more than readable in those still photos. Just a little bit of stippling here to suggest just to allude to that same blend occurring. This guy's possessed by a fiend of Slaanesh. It's funny how that works. Like, if you play demons on the tabletop, every entity that ever existed in lore is a very specific model you can buy, but if you're a possessed, then it's incredibly generic and nondescript, which I think is less fun and less consistent. So might as well, you know, yeah, this guy's possessed by a fiend of Slaanesh. The other guy, a demonette or a weird snake demon. I see your message there, Kit Bash. Yes, I think you are the only non-member in chat. I think you have to click on the membership when it comes in, the gifted ones. And I think it needs to be something you enable in your settings in order to do that. So I got some Saborite here mixed with the bone color on my palette, and Just want to accentuate the areas that would be brighter. I think the bone color does a good job of warming up the green tone a bit too, rather than it being just a static increase in brightness. Unfortunately, the kit bash or conversion around his mouth with the tongue was a little poorly handled, and I think I ruined, I did a bit of damage there, lost some detail on his teeth. I'll try and accentuate that, or not accentuate, but compensate for that with some spot highlights here, but we'll see. Better than nothing, I suppose. Oh, I think his face pops a bit more, which is good. That is a plus. Okay, so I got some black on my palette here, and I have a Doomfire magenta contrast. I think I can use this for his gem. So we'll start with just a layer of black. I just wonder if I can shortcut this gem a little bit. I think the contrast can probably do the heavy lifting. I might as well do both sides while we're here, right? Right, that makes the sense. Totally fair, Kit Bash. Totally fair. Much appreciated. Hail to the chat. Hail to the chat. And all of you lovely members. So probably I want to check the channel homepage now, because probably that feature should automatically be active, I think. Let me take a looky-loo while this guy rotates forever. Maybe not. They have to enable it manually. It'll be done post-stream. I don't know if going into studio while I'm live for that stuff will bungle things. Probably not, but it could. Okay, so now that we have a layer of black on his gem, I want to try mixing that with a brighter color. I'm just using Saborite because it's on my palette. I'm just trying to get a off black. Something which I think the Doomfire will layer nicely over top of. Oh, happy to hear it looks good. Very happy to hear that. Alright, so just a little bit of layering on the gem, and I think with that, probably all I need is a layer of Doomfire and then a white speckle on the opposite side afterwards. It should be okay. Let's do the same on this side. Just a little messy layer, and I'm hoping the contrast will just kind of take care of it. May have to clean up the metal color. We'll see. Look at this, another banger of a track from Donkey Kong, yet again. Donkey Kong does not disappoint, let it be known. Just saw your message there, Carnage. I don't have such a product. I've seen Instagram reels of, people wrapping that gory stuff, the goop. It looks like spiderweb stuff. I don't know how to describe it. Like the gristle, right? Looks like some gristly slime. And it looks good, but I don't have such product. I actually think a Druchii Violet over the whole icon would look pretty good, but yes, I do not have it here. I am gonna have to go for a tissue run. Jeez, what a phrase. It's my allergies today are killing me. It just doesn't stop. So maybe when I go for that, I'll grab some Druchii Violet. as for his eyes, I'm actually going to do a departure from all the other legionaries. His eyes are going to be yellow because that is the color of the Slaanesh demons. The scheme that I'm aping here on his demonic parts. So I think it's a good through line to carry that over to his eyes, because his face is fairly demonic. So I'm just going to put some off-white on his eyes and use the same method in my easy contrast or whatever, easy eye lens video. An imperfect application should be okay. As for this guy's tongue, I'll probably make use of some light purple. I have a frozen flesh from Vallejo, which I think can go over top of here, and I can use up some of the pink horror on my palette as well to just give it a bit more variance. I think it'll look good. At least I hope so. Well, that's definitely more of a gray. Huh. Didn't expect that. Did not expect that. Let's try a bit of, oh my god, Army Painter Alien Purple. The High Fleet Gengar color. It's a bit better. A bit better. Yeah, that's more where I was looking. And I can bring it back down a little bit with that Druchii Violet. That's going to go over that icon. Which as I think about it more, I think I like the idea more. Okay, let's mix in a bit of pink horror, and it should. What's up, P-Turbo? Oh, thanks for stopping by. Excited to see how your Vashtor face swap checks out. The Chaos Knight masks are very good. Very, very cool. They definitely have an imposing visage, so hopefully that scale is a match. I wonder if I can just use some of this mix on the gem here. And I said I would just leave it, but I think gems are pretty cool. Pretty cool details on characters. So if I can stand to make it look good, I think it's worth it. Kind of like a skull. It has that allure. What a wholesome little hobby club we got here. Big ups to Castellan with all the gifted memberships this stream. All right, I need to be right back and get more tissues. This is crazy. Won't stop coming. These allergies are killing me. Okay, BRB. BRB. I'm gonna get that Druchii Violet too. God damn. Fucking brutal. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. Got the Druchii Violet, though. That's a plus. Plus, you get to see a master in action at the same time. Stop it. Stop it, Kitbash. I wouldn't say I'm a master. That's too much. Okay, so let's put the Druchii Violet over here. You know, I think it's adding a nice tonal shift to the steel, if I'm honest. Looking a bit more fantasy, you know? Looking a bit more enchanted, maybe? Maybe a bit more otherworldly. That's kind of in line with what I am aiming for here. Okay, I have a yellow bottle cap somewhere, don't I? Oh, I don't. That's alright. Yeah, for these yellow eyes, I don't have a wash or yellow contrast proper to use. It's got some acrylic ink here. So I'll be using a bit of that. And then probably layering in some AK yellow with some off-white over top. Pretty much this is the exact yellow recipe I used in the Easy Islands video. Ugh. And we'll let that cook for a bit. Maybe spread out a bit of that color splash, right? To try and hue the surrounding areas. Oh shit, I'm not on mute, my bad. My humblest apologies, chat. Okay, I need a bit more off-white, and then I think from there we should be mostly done, right? I know the gold has a blemish on it, so I could spot color that a little bit. I'll get some gold going on the palette. So once this gold is applied over this little half gauntlet thing he's got, I think that should be enough time for the ink to dry on his eyes. I think. You know what else? His tongue will need a gloss coat. I'll probably do that off stream though. That's nothing noteworthy really. I've got some off-white mixed with that yellow ink for the layer of the eyes. So we'll see if we can make that happen. It's a bit too subtle, I think. Might need another pass with a little bit more off-white mixed in. Gonna need the Toxic Mist for later, but first need a bit more off-white. It's a subtle difference, but I think it's it's having an impact. Let's try and push it a bit more. Just going in here now with just straight off-white, and we'll see. We'll see if that's... Yeah, I think it's better for it. Hey, with that gold still out, I can hit these rings. Or you know what? Shit, maybe those rings shouldn't be gold. Why introduce another color, right? Maybe it should be that metallic purple. I think that is the right choice. Oh, nice, Kit Bash. I mean, not nice that your first channel got hacked. That sucks. But nice that you crossed the 100 sub threshold. Yeah, you know, chat, you know, I mean, we don't have a huge audience here, we have 8 concurrent viewers, but give Kit Bash Carnage's channel a look-see. Check it out, and if you like what you see, give it a sub. And if you like this stream, give it a like. I should probably say that too. Well, I'm flattered to hear that, Kit Bash. I think this guy's looking pretty good. Yeah. Off stream, I'll hit this tongue with some gloss, varnish, and the gem as well. I think those are the 2 elements that you'd want to be a bit more reflective, a bit more shiny. And beyond that, I think I'm just looking at some Druchii Violet, and we're on to our glowing green phase, which is basically the end phase. So yeah, we're sort of on time here. Kinda, sort of. Right, so glowing green color, Toxic Mist. It's quite chalky. I'm gonna try mixing it in with the Saborite that I got going on the palette today. Might darken it a touch. Maybe I'll just add more glazing medium. Yeah, so it is darker, but maybe it usually requires multiple coats, so I figure why not make that first coat a bit more solid by mixing in some Saborite green. Okay, we have an islands there. Wonder if we can do the seam as well. That might have an interesting look. And it might also serve to keep this shoulder pad different than the other guy who has the identical shoulder pad. At least they're kind of painted different. Oh god. Kind of a sloppy job here. Just switch to a more precise brush for that kind of stuff. Okay, the skull gauntlet obviously has to be glowing. What other details do we got? You know, the gem could have been glowing too. That was always an option. It would have been less work too. We got this knee protrusion, which could be cool, or shin. These shin spikes. Going kind of hard with this, but we'll see how it turns out. A bit of an experiment. Maybe inside of the mouth of this other knee pad, or greave, or whatever you'd call it. And I think those are all the modeled glowing detail areas. Decals everywhere else, so we'll just do our second pass. No problemo, Kitbash, no problemo. I think if you want to make a YouTube channel for Warhammer, I think memes are the way to go, personally. Paint tends to take a long time to dry. I think it's the glazing medium that I mix into the Toxic Mist. Like when it pools up in these recessed areas, it just takes forever to dry, and then when you apply the Hex Wraith, it tends to mix in with it and just kind of have a worse effect. So I want to give it time to dry properly, and I think the decaling phase should prove adequate. So I'll get to decaling. Close up the palette here. Even the base is further along than the other guys, eh? Than the others in his squad, I mean. I'll use up my Steel Legion Skeleton Bone Mix on my palette a little bit. Just to, yeah, there's not much. It's a bit brighter, but not enough to make an impact. Right. Right, where where's my little decal sheet? Here we go. Wasn't there leftovers from last time? Feel like there were, but may have lost them. Which is a bummer. I'm sure they'll turn up. Get my knife, I'll be back quick. Okay. We're ready to cut out a row, maybe a half row to start. I think last time all I used was half. Oh god. Had to do a quick nasal purge. It was getting to be too much. Okay, so where am I thinking for decals? His front greaves are full. His torso is fairly busy as well. So really, you just got thigh plates. You can put one on his arm, like on his bicep. Yeah, this guy might not need too many. Definitely cut a bit too deep into the other row of decals, which sucks. Probably have one here, and this larger one I'm thinking on the opposite side. I'll put this W maybe over here. W for word bearers. I don't think it's actually a W. Ugh. Total Warhammer 40k, like a Total War Warhammer 40k were to come out, I suppose I would play it. I'm not especially good at the real-time strategy, like at the StarCraft and such kind of games. I did enjoy StarCraft's campaign, but on a competitive scale, it's like I don't have that capacity to play those kind of games competitively. It's just too much. Too mentally demanding for me. But I suppose a Warhammer RTS it'd be worth checking out. Like the same way Space Marine is just kind of worth checking out, right? It's kind of a landmark title. I'll put this one on his butt plate, I think. And his backpack's pretty fulled up. Not much space on there, so probably get one more here and then that's it. Wasted a few this time. You know what? The Pyro. I have not tried Total War at all, so if it is slower, then maybe it's a bit more my speed. Could be. I did pick up Battlefleet Gothic on that sale. It was a stupid Steam sale. I couldn't help myself. It was like $5 or something. Back during that Skulls event, I think. Which I haven't tried either. They're just kind of in the bank for like, I don't know, possible streams maybe, or even just if the mood strikes, or if I want some B-roll of like 40k ships. I think it's a pretty cool thing to have access to. So are these areas dried? Yeah, it looks nearly. Probably dry enough anyways. You know what? By the time we do the what's it called? By the time I do the microsol step, it'll probably be good to go. I do enjoy the fantasy setting quite a bit. Even my brief exposure to fantasy through Vermintide, I enjoyed all the lore nuggets and flourishes that it included. Man, Vermintide is so good. Darktide just disappointed me completely. I don't know, like, was it wrong to expect it would be as good, as fleshed out? How do you mean, Pyro? The topic of which faction do I like comes in? Like, you mean just with regards to uh, Warhammer Fantasy? Or only certain, or are only certain factions available in Total War? 'I really want to douse this one with some Microsol because it seems a bit strong. I think I could use the extra layer, the extra melting. I can see a real hard edge on it. Oh God. "24 factions in Total War. That's quite the roster." Alright, let's begin hex wraithing. So we'll start with the model details because they can tolerate a bit more density than the decals can. At least I believe so. Okay, so this is where he's at. I don't particularly love how heavy those areas are. Maybe I should sap some of that out of there. The decals look as expected. Okay. I think we're almost ready to wrap this shit up. I just want to layer that eye lens a little bit more now that the Hexwraith is well, it's not my favorite. Like, can this be lessened? Is OSL just wet blending with shifts in hue? I don't know. I think if I just paint over this, or will it ruin the effect? I don't know. Well, in any case, he's better than he was before, that's for sure. And I think I'll probably wrap up the stream here. I'm kind of at my wit's end with all this, like, this terrible, like, runny nose. It just won't stop. It's, there's a demon within me, apparently. And it's turning my hobby desk into a disgusting pile of, like, tissue paper. So I'm going to wrap this one up here. There's a few things I'd like to do more, but I'll probably just do them off camera. Glossy medium on the Tong and Gem, I think would be a good start. And this one, black tube, should be black. Yeah, I think I mentioned that earlier, but I forgot about it. Other than that, I really like how this guy has shaped up. Anyways, thanks to the 4 concurrent viewers who made it to the end. You guys are the real heroes. Thanks to everyone who joined the stream and shared that hobby camaraderie as we all plug away on our own hobby projects. And a big thanks to Castellan, who made it rain in chat with a whole bunch of gifted memberships. And I don't think I'm forgetting anything else. Probably tomorrow we'll be on the Master. It'll be time for the Master. But with that, happy hobbying, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.